Alright, and this week we have got another fan-sent battle by Rowdy Man of Old Skool. This is a party battle with very interesting stuff that I heard about it. Just like the last time, I haven't seen how this goes, so this is gonna be a new one for me as well. And before we continue, let's turn the fog of war off and take a look at both of our teams. So in the middle, we have the Old Skool team with their Germanicus with 2 javelins and 1 heavy infantry. Pretty interesting build. I would use this with Caesar instead. But maybe they're doing their dailies, who knows. We've got 1 Vercingetorix with 3 light infantry, a big classic. We've got Field Hood with 3 pikemen. This is a tier 7 battle, so that's pretty interesting. He is a Leonidas pikeman, Rowdy Man with light infantry, and 2 barbarian archers. Barbarian archers is a very interesting unit that I hope to be able to cover in the future. They've got pretty interesting opportunities, but I want to wait until they release the new general. But without further ado, let's take a look at these tier 8 Italian cavalry, this Roman cavalry. On the right, we've got the light cavalry, spears. And on the red team, we have got in the middle, armored 3 units of armored legionaries, 3 units of artillery, and more heavy infantry. So it looks like they are going to be defending this artillery and preventing the blue team from coming in. And on the left, we've got 3 pikemen, tier 8 pikemen. Oh, that's going to be a problem. And Spartan hoplites right here on the left. And on the right, we've got some light cavalry, a very balanced team, except on the right flank. They do not have much in pushing infantry. They've got these houndmasters, but, well, let's see how it goes. So now we have the setup in the middle. The blue team is following the classic strategy in Hadrian's Wall to set up against the wall to detect, to see what the enemy has. So this is going to be a bit of a Mexican standoff. Oh, and we just saw a quick shot, quick like a peekaboo, where the light infantry just looked outside and they got shot at by this light infantry. Now it's just hitting this wall right here. These infantry are taking their positions. Oh, would you look at that? We have these pikemen who are just playing offensively. Oh, they get charged in the side. But I think they'll still be able to... Yep, they still managed to put down their pikes. Alright. Let's see. There's a bit of a pike-on-pike action. Now the javelins are about to shoot and the pikemen realize this. Oh, archer and pikeman. That's deadly. That's deadly for the pikemen. There's a bit of a flanking going on. This pikemen have done a lot of damage. So on the right flank, however, blue did not have anyone pushing that flank, so the red has managed to pull through. But look at this. These Gungnir chargers are doing a lot of damage. Ironically, for some reason, this guy has not activated his Defiance yet. Instead activated Iron Discipline. See how that goes. Blue team has pushed over here. That is not a very good move. He's currently surrounded. Yeah, he is gonna get routed right here. There's a bit of a pike-on-pike action. Oh! Well, that's an unorthodox way of countering pikes. Just burn them to death. Now, I'd like to pause this for a second and analyze the situation. You see this Scorched Earth also reduced the missile block chance by 30%. That is very good, especially like from the front, because these pikemen have got very good frontal missile block chance. Well, right now it's 12, but add 30 to it, that would be 42% chance to block any missile. However, from the back, they're not able to do that. And right here we have those javelins chasing away these pikemen, because the javelins are a hard counter against these pikes, especially because they are Canane pikes. They do not have a raised shield ability. Like a fight in the shade sort of thing. And now they're being dwindled, so the pikes are paying the price of our extension. However, they're still fighting to the last man. We still have and the blue team makes a similar mistake. by overextending over here. They're trying to do as much damage as they can, but that's just overextending. If you remember the 10 commandments, yeah, that's straight up breaking the first commandment right there. Okay, so it looks like some cavalry is harassing the space, but the red team has it defended very well. Okay, let's speed things up. These blue cavalry is holding these very, very well against this Greek and barbarian cavalry. I mean, obviously because, well, not really. This is Arminius. I don't know how he's holding this long. One mistake that he did, in my opinion, was using Frenzy. In my opinion, if you are being outnumbered, do not use Frenzy because it really reduces your melee defense. And like minus 85 melee defense for 50% melee attack. If you're fighting toe-to-toe, I think you're gonna lose with that. However, it is great if you're fighting against archers, which is, in my opinion, what Arminius really specializes in, just a quick strikes. Now the red team is able to harass the blue team's base. And of course the blue team responds with their forces in the middle pushing back towards the base. But the red team takes advantage of that and is now taking the middle. But the blue team is not worried because they still have the ranged advantage. In fact, this might be spelling doom for the red team, because when they come back, the red team will have to walk through this mud, slowing themselves down even further as they retreat. And they have opened their flanks from the left, right, and middle, instead of just middle over there. So advancing is a very dangerous move, especially in this map. So you need to make sure that you have all the advantages, the skirmisher advantage, artillery advantage, before you can make a move like this. Just making this out of instinct will be a problem. Artillery is advancing as well, just to cover their backs. But the blue team is playing it smart. They have activated the fires. Oh, just look at all these shots and pikemen. Yeah, the overextending pikes are not gonna do well. Leonidas pikeman versus Kanane pikeman. In my opinion, Leonidas is going to win because of his higher stats. His ultimate hold the line increases the melee defense. However, the blue team is acting even smarter and just not engaging them. After all, it is, as the Sun Tzu says in The Art of War, it is the acme of excellence to win without fighting. And right now they are doing damage without fighting, so why bother? So right now they're being shot at on the other line, but they have a very strong defense in the base. So while the red team might feel like they have entrapped the blue team has a very strong defense going on. For some reason they have stopped over here, probably a micro issue. This micro wasn't up to par. So these Andarta swords engage these pikemen and have done considerable damage to them, but they'll still will be able to fight. They are their main pushers, that's why I'm focusing so much on the man on the left. We have one light infantry fighting against so many, but because he's Vercingetorix, he can do that. Never underestimate Vercingetorix, and Leonidas is just turning these men into shish kebab. I want some shish kebabs. They're delicious. So we've got the Germanicus over here with his heavy infantry and 2 javelins. If I were him, I would, take position over here and shoot on these guys. Yeah, now he's doing some good damage, but would you look at that? Cavalry's trying to flank against these archers. Oh, now they are attacking these javelin men. Javelins are defending themselves. They can melee attack and rout them. The pikemen are defending. This is a very good position that the blue team is doing. Now they have captured a numerical advantage. For most of the battle, they didn't have it. And this artillery, because it was left undefended, they now have to run for their lives. It's almost over for that artillery, but they still have some forces in the middle. Now, I would like to point out something else, which is another peril of going into offensive. As you remember from The Art of War, going to offensive means that you have excess forces, that you have superior forces when all things are when all things are true, that's what you're signaling there. But when that is not the case, you are instead putting your troops in great peril. And this is what I'm talking about. We have got 6 units that are defending the base, while all of the blue units are now fighting. So we've got 1/3 of the blue team, the red team within their base, and the 2/3 of them fighting the entirety of the blue team. Do you see the numerical problem here? They have been divided. This is defeat in detail, or in other words, divide and conquer. So going to offense without good organization and numerical advantage is gonna spell defeat for you. This is one of those cases. They could have won, but their coordination was worse. Look at this positioning right here. This is very good communication. Well, they are making some mistakes, don't get me wrong, such as this opening with Velites over here. Instead, they should have been covering this area and perhaps been using some spears. But you know, no one is perfect. Still, everybody is improving. So, and now the red team has been woefully outnumbered. And they were outnumbered to begin with because they have went into this offensive, so they have made a strategic mistake and tactical mistakes that we have seen in the middle. Ha, that's a pretty nice move because because they came from the fog of war. Just a quick engagement will allow them to cause flanking damage. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Your skirmishers, when they do melee damage, they will cause flanking damage onto the enemy, allowing you to rout them. I have had great experience with that, with using javelins in melee. And now that they know that they have killed all of the enemy, they know that the rest of them are waiting in the base. They see the numbers, they see the result over here. So now they're attacking full force to the enemy base. Now they're fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people against 3. They're outnumbering them 2 to 1, but more than that, they are attacking as a single unified force. These cavalry are going around and scouting all of their forces. And because not only do they have numerical advantage, now they also have the strategic advantage because of their unit types. They are much more diverse, and they're much more diverse and are able to counter all of these things that are in the enemy base. As we are about to find out, let's speed things up. Now, this cavalry charge was completely unnecessary. So now we have the javelins fighting them right here, Testudo going up, and wow, that's a pretty interesting counter. We have Scorched Earth setting these men on fire. Oh! Well, wait a second. So, let's see this. I'm just noticing something very interesting. So, the Testudo increases your missile block chance. However, the Scorched Earth reduces it by 30%. So, even when you're in Testudo, it's gonna be reducing it under 100. So, he's still receiving damage. So, in Testudo, he's actually receiving more damage than out of Testudo. This is pretty funny. This is very good to know, something that will indeed come in handy. Something that the tournament teams will have to think about. I'm really liking this strategy that they've got going on against the... So yeah, I think every team should have a Vercingetorix, just reducing the enemy missile block, especially from the front. I don't know how much I will be using that, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. It's definitely valid. And now they're capping the base, and this infantry, he knows he's just committing suicide at this point. And so, the red base is captured. Well, thank you very much for the Old Skool, for the great battle, and we will see you next time.